Hey guys, this is great to be back with you all again today. We're going to be talking about perimeter, and the specific skill we're going to talk about is 3.7b, and that's determine the perimeter of a polygon or a missing length when given perimeter and remaining side lengths in a problem. And basically, probably one of the more difficult skills, I can statements that we do in third grade is I can find missing side lengths of polygons. We'll look at some of the vocabulary for perimeter real quick. Perimeter, it's the distance around the edge of a shape. So basically how far it is around, and we calculate that by adding all sides. And you see I have that right here, add all sides. So remember, perimeter is add all sides. A lot of times perimeter problems look very similar to area problems, as you've probably seen before. But I just need you to remember perimeter, you can say perimeter P is equal to add all sides. And just like exactly what I have right here, add all sides. So let's go ahead. We're going to watch one of Aaron's videos where he goes over STAR test question over the skill that we're talking about. And it's from the 2017 STAR test. It's question number 30. And he's going to talk about how to find this missing side length on this triangle. And then we also have a Pearson video that's kind of talking about a similar type subject. And this is maybe when they're giving you two sides of a rectangle, and you got to calculate what the other sides are and figure out what the perimeter is. So let's get ready and watch these videos.
30 of the 2017 released STAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answer together. So we're supposed to try to find the perimeter, or we actually have the perimeter, but we don't have any pictures here. So drawing a picture is going to be very helpful. It says a triangle has a perimeter of 18 units. So we already know that the perimeter equals 18. They've already given it. And it just says 18 units, which means it doesn't really matter what the units are. Each side of this triangle is the same length. So this is going to be a special type of triangle here. And so let's see if we can draw it. I know what I'm trying to draw might not be perfect. What I'm trying to draw is a special type of triangle called an equilateral triangle. There are several different types of triangles. 3 ways we could describe triangles by their side, 3 ways to describe triangles by their angles. But when we're talking about an equilateral triangle, we know it's equilateral because it has this one feature right here. Each side length is exactly the same. Now, we don't know what they are. That's what we need to find, the side length of one side. But let me put these little hash marks here. These little hash marks here, those mean that all 3 are the exact same size. Sometimes triangles have 2 sides that are the same. Sometimes none of them are the same. This first part right here almost spells the word equal. All we need to do is change that I to an A, so it's easy to remember what an equilateral triangle is. So we need to find the side length of one of these sides here. And so what is perimeter? Well, perimeter is 18, but perimeter for a triangle is side plus the side plus the side. So we've got 3 sides, and they're all the same. So what we need to do is we need to see if we can just isolate one of these sides. Well, let's see if we can replace this with 18. And we've got each of these sides, but guess what? They're all the exact same. So what if we took our 18 and we broke it up into 3 equal parts? Because this really seems like, since they're all exactly the same, this might be a good division problem. So if I were to take my 18 and I were to divide it into 3 equal parts, let's see if that would give us an answer that would work. 18 divided by 3, well, that's a fact. And that's going to be 6. So what would happen if I were to do 6 and 6 and then 6 for the sides? Would 6 plus 6 plus 6 make 18? 6 and 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18, so it actually looks like this would work. We've got 6, we've got 6, and we've got 6. And 3 6s make 18, so you can do 3, 6's make 18. So that seems like it works. So it looks like we have our answer here. Let's see if we can figure out where they got some of these other wrong answers from, though. Where do you think we got 3 units from? Well, probably this 3 simply came from 3 sides of a triangle. And so remember, we didn't have any picture to begin with. And so when we're looking at a triangle, we know a triangle is 3 sides. So if you chose 3 sides, that's probably, this is a good start, but that tells you the number of sides of a triangle, not how long each triangle is. This 19, this is just strange because all this is 18 plus 1. So this is really just a guess. You got no idea what it is, and you're just guessing. This 54 is interesting because instead of 18 divided by 3, guess what happens if you do 18 times 3? Well, you're going to get 24 there. 3 times 1 is 3. That's going to get you 54. But what they're wanting here is 18. You said 3 sides of 18. That's not going to work because then that makes a perimeter of 54, and you want the perimeter to be 18. So our answer is G.
How can you find the perimeter of common shapes? Think about this question during the lesson. Mr. Coe needs to find the perimeter of 2 swimming pool designs. One pool shape is a rectangle and not a square. It has 2 sides labeled with their length. The other pool shape is a square. It has 1 side labeled with its length. What is the perimeter of each pool? You can use the lengths given to find the missing lengths. Let's find the perimeter of the pool that has a rectangular shape. Where did the new lengths on the rectangle come from? The shape is a rectangle, so you know that the opposite sides are the same lengths as the lengths given. Remember, opposite sides of a rectangle are the same lengths. The next step is to add the lengths. What is the perimeter of the rectangular pool? The perimeter of this swimming pool is 32 meters. Now let's find the perimeter of the pool that has a square shape. Do you need the length of more than one side of a square in order to find the perimeter? Why or why not? No. Since all sides of a square are the same length, you need the length of only one side. Remember, all 4 sides of a square are the same length. Add the lengths of the 4 sides. The perimeter of this swimming pool is 36 meters. You can find the perimeter of common shapes by adding the lengths of the sides. Opposite sides of a rectangle are the same lengths. All 4 sides of a square are the same length.
Okay, we're going to look at this problem right here. This is a rectangle, and it gives us one of the side lengths is 8, and it tells us the perimeter is 30. And it wants us to find this missing side length right here, which actually requires quite a few steps to do. So we'll go ahead and talk through the steps real quick. So we'll write down step 1. Step number 1. Okay, on step number 1, we know that opposite sides of rectangles are the same length, so we'll go ahead and label the opposite side. So that means this side is 8 right there. So step 1 would be to, besides labeling the opposite side, is we add those 2 sides together. So that's 8 plus 8. And I know 8 plus 8 equals 16. Step number 2. Okay. Step number 2 is we're going to subtract that sum of 8 plus 8, which is 16. We're going to subtract that from the perimeter. So we do 30 minus 16. Okay, when I do that, I'd have to regroup. So I'm going to take one of my 10s. I'll leave 2 10s. That gave me 10 ones. And 6 from 10 is 4. And then 1 from 2 is 1. So we get a difference of 14. So basically what that's saying is the sum of both these sides are 14. So step 3, what we're going to do is we're going to divide 14 by 2 so we can figure out what our missing side length is. And 14 divided by 2. It may not be really good at our division yet. Most of us should be. Most could probably figure out that 2 times something equals 14. But if you're not, you go ahead and just make 2 groups and separate out the 14 equally among those 2 groups. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And when you do that, you can see that 14 divided by 2 equals 7. So that means my missing side length is 7. But that's not the last step. The last step is to check and see if we did it correct. Step 4. Okay, and we're going to check it by adding all the sides. So we'll do 8 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. I know 8 plus 8 is 16, and 7 plus 7 is 14, and 14 plus 16 equals 30. So that means we did it correct because it does match what our perimeter is, so our missing side length would be 7. Okay, we're going to look at a guided practice problem here. It says Q drew a pentagon. The first side was 14 inches, the second side was 15 inches, the third and fourth sides were 16 inches each. Okay, the perimeter of the pentagon was 73 inches. What was the length of the fifth side? So we have this problem right here. We'll circle some important information here. So it looks like, well, I guess probably the most important thing, or the first thing we'd look at is the Pentagon. Okay, and we'll write how many sides a pentagon has, which is 5 sides. And then we also have the second side is 15 inches. And the third and fourth sides were 16 inches. I'll put times 2 right there, because there's 2 of them. And the perimeter is 73 inches. So he said he drew a pentagon. So let's draw a pentagon. So a pentagon has 5 sides, we said. So we'll draw a 5-sided figure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. Did that autocorrect for me? No, it didn't. Okay, so we'll go ahead and label sides it's talking about. And this is not going to be proportional. It's not going to be exactly right, but I'll just start labeling sides. So it says that one side is 14. I'm trying to draw on a 4 there. One side is 14 inches. Another side is 15 inches. Then it says it's got 2 16-inch sides. These look closest to the same to me. So I'll do those 2 sides 16 inches. And what it wants to figure out is this this side right here. So we don't know what that side is right there. So the first step in this is to go ahead and figure out how much is the length of the sides we already know. So I'm going to add up all those sides. So that's 14 plus 15 plus 16 plus another 16. What is 14 plus 15 plus 16 plus 16? Okay, well, let's check it out here. So I'll put 4 and 6 together to make 10, and then 5 and 6 together to make 11. So that sounds like 21 to me. I'll regroup my 2 over there. And then I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like the sides that I do know are 61 inches. So the next step would be to subtract that 61 from the total perimeter, and that'll give us our missing side over here. So that is 73 minus 61. What is 73 minus 61? Okay, I know 3 minus 1 is 2, and then 6 from 7 is 1. So that means my missing side is going to be 12 inches. So to put this into my my griddable here, I see a lot of students want to do this. They'll try write 12 here and then bubble in the 1 and the 2 there. Actually, what they just identified right there is 120. That's how the griddable will read it. So we need to make sure we use correct place value. So I'd put a 1 in the tens place and a 2 in the ones place, and then I would bubble in the 2. I made a mistake there already. I'd bubble in the 1 in the tens place. Dark and neat, covering the whole thing. Trying not to go outside the lines. And the 2 in the ones place. Pulling a dice dark and neat, staying inside the lines, making it dark and neat. Trying not see any white spots in there. So that's how we would answer that problem right there. Okay, it's now time to complete your independent practice. I'll put a PDF in there that you can print off and work out the problems. But just take your time, do your very best. There will be a blue puzzle piece after that, and that's where you'll input your answers. That's how we check to make sure you've done it correctly. And so like I said, take your time, do your very best. If you have any problems, send your test teacher a message, either as an email or a message in Schoology, which seems to be the most popular way to contact teacher. And like I said, take your time, do your very best, and best of luck to you.